Craig, are you telling us that California growers are not able to compete with the international growers and other regions?
So when you look at the quality of fruit, which and then in turns returns to quality of the wine, you can't make good wine out of bad grapes. You can make bad wine out of good grapes, but you definitely can't make good wine out of bad grapes. So what we're trying to do in California is we're always trying to make the highest quality of wine for the grape that we have in place. Now, regionally, that can be different. It's not throwing anyone under the bus, but the quality in Fresno and Bakersfield is not the quality that you get in Lodi, Paso Robles area, Monterey County, Mendocino County, Sonoma, and Napa. So the quality that is really being replaced or the major areas of replacement by these other countries really revolves around the Fresno, Bakersfield, and in the Valley. And now we're starting to kind of see that attack on Lodi fruit as well, where they're able to provide quality at a less price than what we can do the same quality in Lodi. And that has everything to do with, our regulation that we have in the state of California, our labor laws that we have in California, and the continued increase in minimum wage going up and up and up and up. And when you think about that how that relates to what we're doing back in the field, what we are paying in an hour, South American countries may be paying that employee in a day. And so when you start leveling out that playing field, it's not very level at all. So of course they can produce at a less price than what we can. One of the issues that I think a lot of us have in the industry, and it's not an issue, it's an observation that we see, and a lot of information that we hear on a regular basis is, we hear people talking about, I need to know where my wine's coming from. I need to know where my food's coming from. And if you need to know where your food's coming from and you want your food to come from where you live, it's going to cost you more money than if you're interested in just the price of food or the price of wine. If you're interested in just buying based on price, you are not going to be buying American products for the most part. You're not going to be able to buy American food. You're not going to be able to buy American wine because we can't compete when it comes to the worldwide market with countries such as in South America where their labor is much cheaper, or countries in Europe where they are partially subsidized by their government. So there has to be what we're looking for and what we're trying to figure out is how do we equalize that playing field for California growers, California winemakers, and California wine brands to continue to compete with California wine.
Now, is it common for American winemakers to use international grapes and foreign grapes?
Well, that's a marketing trick that a lot of these wineries have really honed in on and are capable of doing. Is they might have foreign wine in an American appellated bottle of wine, and I know that sounds odd because if it says America on the bottle, you would think that that all of that wine or that fruit in that bottle would be from the United States of America. But yet in our country, you can put an American appellation on the wine and 25% of that wine or fruit can be from another country. We're the only country on earth that allows that type of stuff to happen. If it's a French bottle of wine, guess what? It's 100% French. So that is something that we have to deal with. But, that could be a double-edged sword for us, potentially. That double-edged sword could be is that American winery might just say, well, you know what? Our consumer may or may not care whether it's an American product or not, as long as it's at the price point that they're looking to purchase at. And so when you're at a grocery store looking at the wine section, which can be a daunting thing to look at when you start talking about the amount of SKUs that are in our industry, you look at a shelf and you're like, there's 17 bottles of Cabernet here, all priced basically at the same exact price point, but they all have slightly different labels. One might say California, one might say American. One might not say anything. It might just say the winery name on it, but then you turn it to the back and it's a product of Chile or a product of Argentina or a product of Italy. But you would never know that until you turn to the back label on that bottle. And that's that's something that I think we're going to continue to deal with as long as we are having um, the pressures that we have as growers on how much what we can farm and at what price. And if we can't farm it at the price that meets that bottle price point, then they're going to replace us with foreign fruit. That's basically what it boils down to.